This one says, hi, Jess. I had a sexual affair with a former work colleague for 5 years, and she happened to be in a serious relationship at that time. We are both 29 years old now. Jess, I wasn't happy doing that. Now, during the course of our affair, she terminated 3 pregnancies and took care of all the costs involved. She refused to let me pay a penny. Last October, she came to visit me at home, and I told her that I wanted us to end the affair because I had found someone new. But she didn't handle the news well. She got very furious and smashed my television. After she left, there was no communication between us. Fast forward. She got married 3 months ago, but I couldn't attend the ceremony. 2 weeks after the ceremony, she came to my place and said, with the number of abortions that she's done for me, if she's unable to conceive for her husband, she'll make sure I don't enjoy any peace in my relationship or marriage. Sisters, I'm confused and I don't know what to do next. Please help a brother. Okay, obviously in a very tight corner there. Olivia. Go on then. I mean, this is serious. 3 abortions.
You know what annoys me about all of this? She's like, she's married and now she's like, if I don't have kids, I'm going to come and make your life miserable.
Pretty much, yeah.
I mean, truth be told, both of them are to be blamed. But I blame the girl more because she was in a relationship and she decided to be promiscuous. And you know what they say about office romance? You spend, everybody, I mean, look at all of us working. You spend, out of 24 hours, you spend most of your day at work. And it's easy for you to get into relationships with work colleagues. But when you know you're in a stable relationship, what are you doing dropping your knickers and having sex with some other guy at work?
And unprotected.
And unprotected. And you managed to do this for 5 years. And so at which point in time did you think, say, it was about time you had to stop? And you, this guy now, like, what? Hold on. At a certain point in time, he says he was in the relationship with her, shagging this girl, but he didn't like it. Hello, did she hold a gun to your head?
Nope.
When you were coming left, right, and center, you didn't know that, you know, you had to be responsible. No, really, it takes 2 to tango, and it's so annoying, and it's so frustrating. Okay, there's no point blasting you. Right now, you want a solution. Moving on. This is what I think. You don't owe the girl jack. She decided to commit the abortions. She decided to pay for it. And you wanted to get involved. And she said no, she'll handle it. Clearly, she wants to be promiscuous. She enjoyed the life she was living. So you don't owe her jack. I mean, what you could do is to man up, for crying out loud. What you can do is tell her that the next time she calls you to make irrelevant demands of you, you're going to call her husband and tell her husband that if she can't have kids, it's because she decided to pay for her own abortions. Threaten her back. I mean, it suits me, it suits you. Everybody lives with the consequences. Like, what are you doing shaking in your pants, my guy? Like, you have to move on with your life. My thing is that don't continue life the way you did. Like what they say, karma, what goes around comes around. I mean, you knew she was in a relationship. You knew you were not supposed to do that, yet you did that. So you have yourself to blame. And should she decide, if she can't have babies, it's her own problem. And find a way to block her. If you're now getting into a relationship, let your girlfriend know that, Charlie, you had some kind of a past, though. There's this girl haunting you because you people did it, suits me, suits you. And then now she says that if she can't have children, let your girlfriend or your partner know in advance. There's some lunatic of a girl who is going to come around and might want to tell you that this is what I did. So I'm telling you in advance so you're not surprised. And move on with your life. It was her decision, and life, that's life. You make a decision. You all had fun. One thing led to the other. She decided to sponsor herself through it. Sweetheart, you don't owe her jack. Go on with your life. And don't go around doing this whole thing. It's not like I'm condoning it. I feel like it's 2 bad people who enjoyed a bit of time and now they have to live with the consequences. But one is not better than the other. They all suck to me anyway. But my thing is that always know that in life, whatever decision you make, there are always repercussions or there are always consequences to whatever decision you make. But don't let that happen. When you're in a relationship, try to keep and stay faithful. Even if it's a 2-month relationship, a 2-week relationship, a 1-year relationship, be faithful and true to that particular partner. It's habit. You build it over time. Just if it's regular boyfriend, girlfriend, and you manage to hold the relationship as sacred as it is, and you're faithful, when you get married for 20, 30 years, it's going to be easy because you've built that habit over time. You've built that quality, and it's a beautiful quality. And this is why I go around bashing people who think that it's okay to be in a relationship and to be shagging other people. Clearly, these are some of the relevant consequences that you have to deal with. So call a spade a spade. You owe her nothing. Move on with your life. Let your partner that you're in a relationship right now know that this is what happened. I mean, nobody is, how should I put it? Nobody is, everybody has a past. Most people have a past. So let her know that this is what it is. If she comes around, at least she knows. You have your relationship going on. And tell her that, Charlie, she should just get off your case. It's done. It's done. She should focus on her marriage and try and, she should rather be praying to God to help her have babies with this other guy that she's married. So I feel bad for her husband, to be honest. Charlie,
wow.
This thing just upsets me.
Savage! All right. Mansa, do you have the same kind of reaction to this story?
No, I would. Okay, so first, I think there are some gaps in the story. Because, so they broke up and then she got married. Did she try to get pregnant and she didn't get pregnant? That's why she's back at the guy?
Most likely.
And is it medically proven that she cannot conceive? So you see, once you have not gone beyond the scientific proof that you are barren and you cannot have any more babies, and it's even attributed to the fact that it is as a result of maybe an abortion you caused, I don't think she should blame the guy.
No, but she's giving him a warning ahead of time, like, if I cannot have kids,
So why are you assuming? 3 months
because
is
she
even
knows
relatively...
3 is a lot. 3 abortions is a whole lot.
Yes, we understand. But 3 months is also relatively a short time to assume you cannot conceive and you start blaming people. You understand?
Yeah.
Because people, it takes time for some people to conceive after marriage. So 3 months is relatively a short time. So she's now assuming. And I feel it's a past that is haunting her. Okay, so from day one, I feel she's been obsessed with this guy. Because she was in a stable relationship and she still offered herself that chance to date another person in her workplace. If it's not obsession, then I don't know what it is. It's either she was obsessed or she saw this other guy as an alternative boyfriend or somebody she could eventually settle with. So I'm sure while the guy was having fun with her, the guy in the office was having fun with her, she saw the guy as a potential. And so when the news came to her that this cannot go on again, she got disappointed. And that's how come she got very furious. But like they say, hell has no fury than a woman's scorned. But hell has no further fury for a woman who seeks revenge. So the guy there, he should be ready. The girl will come. But you see, I blame the two of them. It is a woman who decides to get pregnant. If you are with somebody and you don't want to get pregnant, you won't get pregnant. So 1, you have chosen to get pregnant. 2, you could have chosen to keep the babies, even the first one. You chose to abort. So as you said, every action has consequences. And so she should be ready to bear the consequences of all the actions she took. But for the guy, for me, I would just advise him to compensate the girl and let her go. Yes, because like I said, hell has no fury than a woman who seeks revenge. So this girl can actually mess the guy up. And she can follow her she can follow him to any extent if she wants to mess him up. Yes. She knew she
was in a relationship before she decided to be unfaithful. That's my point. He doesn't owe her anything. She shouldn't have done what she did, and she has to live with the consequences. That is where I come.
She shouldn't.
But so does that mean she doesn't deserve any compensation?
No.
As Mansa saying, you don't think so?
I think she deserves some compensation.
It takes two to tango. and plus, we don't even have proof of the abortions that she claimed to have committed.
Oh, I don't think she'll make up stories, or he will make up stories.
Yeah.
He most likely knew about them.
Yes.
At this point,
Yes.
it would be really cool to actually hear the girl's side of the story as well.
That is
because
true.
it takes two to tango.
Unfortunately, we
bad.
don't have that angle though. But let me bring Sabby in. I'm curious to hear what Sabby has to say.
I think I'm going to repeat this again. For me, this is a woman scorned. Relationship and started a sexual relationship with the person, and that it lasted this long. Somewhere deep in her heart or in her mind, she was waiting for him to choose her. When he didn't choose her, which is what the reaction is, the smashing of the TV, devastation and hurt, because I've given all of this to you. I've given 5 years of my life to you. I've let go of 3 babies, and I'm still not enough. So for me, that's the big underlining thing that I'm seeing here, that for him it was play. Yeah, and for her, she was waiting on him. And so I'm going to make your life hell, blah, blah, blah. I'm really struggling to understand that, because it's very simple. If it was me and I have a partner, I just let my partner know immediately. I mean, that happened, but I'm not going to have anybody hold things over me. That's just not going to happen. Both of these people have no loyalty. Both of these people have no relative concept of what relationship is. The concern I have about this man is he's talking about all these situations, but he's moving them away from him. And what that says to me is he wants to hold no responsibility. He wants to hold no responsibility. He's not responsible for anything. Oh, help me, sisters. What can I do? What must I do? What were you doing when you were in it? And so, he's behaving as if he's telling us a story of his friend, not his story. And so the first thing I would say is, brother, it's time for you to grow up. It's time for you to grow up. It's time for you to be a man. It's time for you to take responsibility for your actions. It's time for you to ask yourself who you want to be. What do you want out of life? You're in a new relationship now. What are you doing? I mean, are you insecure? Do you need validation from elsewhere? If that's the case, look within yourself, because this is an indication of who you are and how you see yourself. The way you live your life is an indication of how you see yourself. And so very simply, if she can't have babies, that's something that she will have to deal with, because whether she tells her husband or not, or whether she tells whoever you're with or not, doesn't change that situation. So if I was you, tell the partner that you have that this was the story, and make sure that you don't have those secrets. But for the both of you, but especially for the guy, because he's the one who hurt in, grow up.
Yeah, completely agree. Grow up, because at the end of the day, you knew exactly what you were doing. She was dating someone seriously, in a serious relationship with another guy, and you were busy doing side cock tits. You know what I mean? And you got her pregnant 3 times. Well, that is assuming the pregnancy was even his, because if she was in a full-on relationship with another guy, it could have been for the other guy. I mean, it's tricky.
Mess.
Yeah, it's a really big mess. But once you were there, once you had unprotected sex with her, you can't deny it if she says it's you. You know what I mean? So I think take whatever comes your way. She's going to come after you if she doesn't have kids. That's for sure. But like all the ladies have said, just be open with your current partner. Let her know the kind of checkered past or history you have. And hopefully you guys are still able to, keep that relationship going and deal with whatever comes your way in the future. So good luck with that. It's Sister on City TV. Let me bring in a couple of comments that have come through to the show already. Hang on a second. Right. And this one says, it's from Mashoud. Says, take a transfer, change jobs, change cities, get far away from this woman. You two deserve medals. Yao says, imagine attending a ceremony like that and the groom acting all bossy as if he's marrying some diligent lady Biama. My heart goes out to that innocent man who would be bragging to single guys that he has found a wife and that he has found a good thing. fear women. Rosemary says, when you had an affair, she was in a serious relationship, meaning you can't be sure you are responsible for those 3 pregnancies. If she terminated the pregnancies herself without your involvement, then I think you have no cause to be afraid. Don't forget to let your new girlfriend or wife know about this so that it won't be shocking news to her if the ex finds her way into your house. Stop having indiscriminate affairs with persons you don't intend to marry. All the best. Akosia says, I feel you should tell your lady about her, speak the truth, then tell the ex-lady to go face her marriage. You can also decide to tell her husband what happened and let's see what happens then. Oof, that would be extreme. Nana says, it's the innocent man who has found a wife in this lady that I'm worried about. Abel says, first of all, whose idea was it to terminate the pregnancies? If it was yours, then you have yourself to blame. But if the reverse is true, then you're a free man. Peter says, well, I don't see why you were comfortable with a lady terminating your babies like tomatoes and you were not an ounce worried. Any woman that takes life can do anything in this life. Just pray the unfortunate doesn't happen. But always remember that if there is a man to pray, there's a God to listen. Danny says, no sex before marriage. You say no. I beg, carry your own cross. Kofi says, due to amanihunu. Wait, die ni amanihunu. I was reading that in English. Die ni amanihunu, to the man who has become the husband to such an adulterous, indisciplined lady. As a man, you must be disciplined enough to stay away from women who are already in an intimate relationship. Note, cut your connections with her.